Okay, so in this question, I'm going to be going through an astigmatic decomposition question. So we have the two prescriptions -3, -150, axis 170, and also -1, -1, axis 150. So essentially in astigmatic decomposition, we're going to try and combine both these spherocylindrical prescriptions together to get one prescription. So this is what we currently have, and if we just look at the first prescription just here, -3, -150 at 170, what we need is three components. So we're going to start off by working out what M equals, what C0 equals, and what C45 equals. So we have to do that for the first prescription and also the second prescription. So just to explain what M means, so M is literally just the mean sphere. So that's just sphere plus half the cylinder. C0 is the amount of with the rule or the amount of with the rule and against the rule astigmatism. So to work that out, you do C cos 2 times the axis. And C45 here is the amount of oblique astigmatism. And that's, again, C sine 2 times the axis. So these three formulas are essential to work out the M, C0 and C45 values, and we're going to do that for both of these prescriptions just here. So let's just start off with -3 first. -3, -150 at axis 170. So if we just look at this prescription to begin with, what we have is M. So we're looking at the formulas now. We're working out the first part of the formula, M, what M equals. So we have M equals the sphere, which is -3, plus half the cylinder, that's -150 over 2, which then equals -375. So that's the mean sphere. Then we need to work out the C0 value, and that's going to be, looking back at our formulas we wrote here, C cos 2 times the axis. So that's going to be -150 times cos 2 times 170. Popping that into the calculator now, -150 times cos 2 times 170, which gives -1.409. -1.409. Let's give me that to 3 decimal places for accuracy. Then C45, what we have, again looking at the formula just here, C sine 2 times the axis. So it will be -150 times sine 2 times 170, and just popping that into the calculator again, -1.5 times sine 2 times 170, that equals 0.513. Yeah, so what this all means is this is the mean sphere here. We have that's M, the M value is that. C0 value is -1.409, that's the amount of against the rule or with the rule astigmatism. And C45 is the amount of oblique astigmatism. So now that we have those values, that gives us the values that we need for the first prescription, -3, -150 at 70. So since this is astigmatic decomposition, we also need the values for the next prescription, which is -1, -1 at 150. So doing the exact same thing again, applying these formulas to this question, what we're going to do first is looking at what M equals. M is equal to the sphere plus half the cylinder. So sphere in this question now is -1. So -1 plus half the cylinder, again that's -1 over 2, which now equals -150. So that's the mean sphere. Now we can work out C0. Same procedure again. This time the cylinder is -1 in the prescription, times that by cos 2 times, and now the axis is 150, and popping that into the calculator, -1 times cos 2 times 150, that gives -050. And now working out C45, what we get is -1, so using the formula just here, times sine 2 times 150, which then equals, popping that into the calculator again, minus 1 times sine 2 times 150, 0.866. Now that we have those values, what we can do now is do the sum of C0 and sum of 45. So just to explain that, just going to change the color. So sum of M equals literally this value here from the first prescription plus this value here. So minus 375 plus minus 150, which equals minus 525. So that's the sum of M. You're just adding together the M value from the first prescription and the second prescription. Now to get the sum of C0, same thing again, adding the C0 from the first prescription and the C0 from the second prescription, which is going to equal minus 9.09. And then the final one, C45, sum of C45. So I'm just going to do this one in the calculator. 0.866 plus 0.513, and what we get is 1.379. So we have all of these values here. Now this is the situation we need to be in. So we need to have all of the sum of M, sum of C0, and the sum of C45 to then use the mean formula. So I'm just going to write the mean formula down. So the main formula that we need to be able to use is the resultant cylinder, and that is sum of C0 squared plus the sum of C45 squared. That will give us the cylinder. So that's the combined cylinder from both the prescriptions. So this is the formula to use. And then we have the resultant Cephea. So this will give us the Cephea value for the two prescriptions combined. And to work that out, it's M, sum of M minus CR over 2. Yeah, that's that one. And theta R, this will give us the axis, and this will be 0.5 tan to the minus 1, and this will be in C45 over sum of C0. So sum of C45 over sum of C0, and this will give us the axis. So now you can see why it was important for us to work out all of these sum of M, sum of C0, sum of 45, because they keep coming up in these formulas that we are now going to be using. So starting off with CR, I'm just going to go here, using CR to work out the resultant cylinder. So CR equals square root, and then C0, we work that out, that is minus 1.909 minus 1.909 squared, and then this is plus C45 squared. So this formula plus C45 squared, which is 1.379. Again, I'm just using this formula just here to work out the resultant cylinder. So C45 is 1.379 squared, and what that equals now, I'm just going to pop this into a calculator, square root minus 1.909 squared plus 1.379 squared gives me 2.35. That is for the cylinder. Now we can, so that's the cylinder, so I've worked out the cylinder. Now we can work out the resultant Cephea, which is just here. This is sum of M. Sum of M, we work that out just here, which is minus 525, and it was just minus CR over 2. So CR, we just work that out here. So there's two annoying rules actually that I need to mention here. So one is to do with CR and one is to do with theta R. So here actually 2.35 here actually isn't correct. What you have to do is you have to look back at the C0 value here. So this CR, you have to go back to this C0 here. So the sum of C0 is actually minus here. because it's minus, the CR value also needs to be minus. So actually this is minus 2.35. So all you have to do is make sure the sign of CR is the same as the sign of C0. So in this case, it's minus 1.909. That needs to be the same sign. So now that the CR value is minus 2.35, we can pop that into this equation here, minus 2.35 over 2. So that's the first annoying rule. There is one more, but we'll come to that one next. So now popping this into the calculator to work out C0, to work out the resultant sphere. Okay, so we get minus 4.08, and that is ds, because that's the sphere, and the other one was dc, that's the cylinder. Now the final step is to work out the axis. So to work the axis out, we just do 0.5. So using this formula just here, tan to the minus 1, and the sum of C45, which we worked out here, is 1.379 over sum of C0, which is, sorry, not that one, minus 1.909, this one here, minus 1.909. And then just popping that into the calculator. Okay, that gives me minus 17.921. Decimals are not showing here. Okay, minus 17.921. So now this is the second annoying rule, because what we have here is a minus axis. Now that doesn't seem right, does it? So to fix that, all you do is add 180 to it, and that will give 162, and that's the answer. So the second annoying rule is basically when you get a negative axis, like in this case, we have a minus 17.921. You can't put that down as your prescription. You have to add 180 to that, and when you add 180, you get the actual axis, which is 162. So the final prescription for this, the combined astigmatic decomposition complete, it's going to be minus 4.08 minus 2.35. So minus 4.08 minus 2.35 along at axis 162, and that's the final answer.